I know there's plenty of basketball to get to, and I'll get to your complimentary play in just a moment, but let's talk boxing here for just a moment. Now, you may recall a couple of weeks ago when it was first announced that Mayweather and Pacquiao would finally happen in May. I broke down the fight for you here. I told you, go ahead, get your money down on Floyd. He was not going to lose this fight. I didn't see any knockdowns. I didn't see anything other than this one going the distance and Floyd winning a unanimous decision in terms of points. You may have seen the story yesterday, however, that the odds had dropped because of all the early action on Pacquiao. Guys, I'm going to tell you again, just go ahead and bet Floyd. That's it. Just do it. Listen to me. I mean, even if you got to bet him at 2-1 now today, go ahead and do it. You're going to win money. And again, as I'm not going to go into the long, detailed dissertation, I'll do that again when we get closer to the fight. But the number 5 is all that matters because Floyd has that 5-inch reach advantage. The other number that matters is 2, and he's 2 inches taller than Pacquiao. And that's the bottom line. The big man is going to beat the small man because the small man is going to have to work his way inside and he's going to have to take chances. And I think Floyd at this stage of his career, as I told you before, is going to be content to stay outside, to use the jab, to use his legs, to accumulate the points, and he's going to walk away this fight a winner. I don't think his ego is going to get in the way, and I don't think he's going to go for any types of KOs, and I don't think he's going to go take any chances, but I just think, again, Floyd is the choice. Now, the reason I bring this up, well, twofold. One, because I saw that story that the early money was coming in on Pacquiao. So listen, guys, it's not just about betting. It's about betting at the right time, as you know. And it doesn't matter whether we're talking football, college basketball, or boxing. Again, I'm telling you, this number is not going to drop down any further. I just don't see a late influx of money coming in here for Pacquiao. I think that was the early money coming in. And I think at 2-1, you go ahead and take it. And listen, do not be seduced by all the proposition bets here as well. You know, who's going to get a KO, how many rounds it's going to go, blah, 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 blah. Listen, if you're going to bet this fight, you bet it at 2-1 on Floyd, and that's it, and you walk away. But the reason I also bring this up is, as I was researching college basketball today, I'm in the Charlotte Observer sports section, and I saw that Roy Jones Jr. is fighting on Friday night in Concord, North Carolina, against Willie For Real Williams. Hey, listen, I don't invent the names. I just tell you what it is. Willie For Real Williams has a career record of 14 wins, 8 losses, and 2 pushes. Roy Jones is 46 years old. And there is a cautionary tale, and one that has been often told in boxing there about Roy Jones. There's a guy who didn't take all the big fights that were available to him in his prime of his career. But when I look at this guy, he was washed up in 2003, 2004, 2005. Remember the series of 3 fights against Antonio Tarver? I mean, he was done then. I mean, then he lost 3 straight fights a couple of years later. What was it, like 2007? He lost to Bernard Hopkins, for Christ's sake, okay? And listen, I know Bernard is still fighting, but, the Bernard Hopkins you've seen for the last 10 years wasn't the Bernard Hopkins of 20 years ago either. And Jones couldn't beat him. I mean, this is just another guy who, in the annals of boxing, there have been millions of these guys that stay too long at the dance for one reason or another. Most often that reason is the almighty dollar, or they've lost too many marbles and the almighty dollar kind of goes hand in hand with it anyway. But there's Roy Jones. At one time, let's not forget though, at one time, this guy was pound for pound the best fighter in boxing, okay? But again, it just seemed like, time after time, you just never could get the really great matches with Roy Jones. But a guy who started his career 34-0, and then what did he lose to? Oh man, we're testing my memory here. McCollum? No, Mike McCollum. Was that who he lost to? Remember, he was disqualified for hitting a guy when he was down. Montel Griffin, that's who it was, Montel Griffin. And then he came back when they had the rematch, and I think it was a knockout in the first round. But this was a guy who was just marvelous at the beginning of his career. I mean, 34-0 start, 49-1, and now going into the fight against Willie For Real Williams, 59-8, that record. So you started 49-1, and you're now 59-8. and you're 46 years old. And in part of the story, I happened to read that Jones said that he's training with this guy, Jim Foster, out in LA, and that Foster has developed this method that's enabled him to regain some of his speed, especially his hand speed. Yeah, yeah, really. Sure, I believe that. We've all heard that one too, right? Okay, let's move on to basketball. I'll tell you what, last night, I haven't lost many games here in the past couple weeks. Hell, it's been a great 2 month run. But when I do happen to lose one, boy, do I lose it in spectacular fashion. Last night I had a 15-time play in college basketball, which matches the highest rated play in my career, and it was on LSU at home. Oh my God, I didn't realize that was the LSU team that was going to show up last night, the schizophrenic one. How they lose to Tennessee at home is beyond me. But at least it was kind of like the mercy killing. I knew that game was over early. I didn't have to wait to see the final results. You know, give me that type of loss versus the type of loss I had a couple of Mondays ago when I lost a 15-time play on St. John's. Well, I actually walked away with the push, but I counted it as a loss here at the site. St. John's -1.5, and they only beat Xavier by 1. You know, a loss is a loss, but some are certainly more painful than others. That type of loss with St. John's Xavier, that was painful. Last night's loss was not painful. It was just a mercy killing. But I'll repeat what I've said a million times over the years, guys. You cannot celebrate the wins. You cannot lament the losses. I don't care if you're a handicapper, a gambler, or a combination of both, because often the next money-making opportunity is staring you right down in the face. And if you're lamenting or you're celebrating, you miss that chance. For me tonight, I'm coming right back to the dance, guys. Top rated 15-time college winner, number 16 out of 22, as I go for winning day number 12 out of 16 just the past couple of weeks. I think it's a revenge round. I love the game. And listen, I just think that, it's a game that is deserved to be played the way I'm playing it, and I'm going right back into the fray. Because again, to do this thing that we love called gambling, you got to have balls. You cannot bet scared. You cannot run away after a loss. You got to realize the week is long and you've always got a chance, just like a gambler, or excuse me, a golfer who's looking to recover from a rough start to get back at par. You've always got that chance to get back into the game. So that's what I'm doing here tonight. Now, let's talk about Anthony Red. Anthony Red has just been on an incredible roll over the past 3 weeks. Did he lose the last 2 nights? He absolutely did. Absolutely did, okay? But when I saw that Anthony Red has another 100-dime max wager play going today, there was no way in the world I was not going to make that the featured half-price discounted play of the day today, because he is still 16-3 over the past 18 days. Still 16-3 over the past 18 days overall. And this is going to be the 11th consecutive day you've gotten his selection at a huge discount. It's his 100-dime underdog game of the year, part number 4. It also happens to be his 100-dime college basketball winner, number 12 out of 14. Remember his 100-dime play on Sunday when he gave you Oregon as a 6-point road dog and they went outright at Stanford? You got it for half price. Last Wednesday it was Baylor, another 6-point road dog, winning outright 79-70 at Iowa State. You got it for half price. Same thing goes today. Half price play of the day for a guy who has made $10 bettors the past 45 days. A little over $10,800. All you've got to do is use coupon code RED, R-E-D-D. Shawn Michaels, just his second college basketball 100-dime max wager release of the season, goes tonight. It's a late night game. Goes at 10:05 Eastern Time. UC Davis and Cal Riverside. It's a Big West contest. This play, of course, matches his Super Bowl winner on the Patriots. These 109 plays in the NFL, remember, over the past 6 years, 59-31 his record. And he's made $10 bettors over the past 23 months, a little over 19 grand. You save $70. You get it for $29 by using coupon code SEAN29. I hope you have made your contribution to the charity play of the week. You can do so by scrolling down the page. If you happen to be watching this video on the website, and click on the link, you'll see the story and an adorable picture of a little boy by the name of Bo who's battling leukemia and has to undergo numerous chemotherapy treatments here in the next few months, and his family, of course, running up against the wall financially. You'll see my donation there. I hope you make one as well. Also, as a result of the charity play winning, courtesy of Jeff Benton 2 nights ago, remember special package savings. You can save $125 off the purchase price of any 30-day package from any handicapper. Save $125 right off the top by using coupon code SAVE125. That's SAVE 125. If you happen to be in the middle of a long-term package with a particular handicapper, let's say you have 10 days left in a package involving Anthony Red and you want to get another 30-day package, right? Listen, smush it together. You'll then have 40 days left. And if you have any instant rebates, they are applicable as well. So that's $125 off a 30-day package, or you can save $50 off of any 7-day package by using coupon code SAVE50. Should you have any questions, anything like that, you can just contact customer service. That's what they are there for. Let me get to your complimentary play. Despite losing in the SEC last night, I'm going to get right back into the conference tonight and take a look at the game between Arkansas and South Carolina. Now, the Razorbacks have been idle since that 17-point loss at Kentucky last Saturday. But remember, they had won 7 straight games prior to that loss in Lexington. And that was a streak that started when they hammered South Carolina at home 75-55 as a 8-point home chalk back on February 3rd. Held South Carolina to just 27.9% shooting in the game, which really should come as no surprise because South Carolina is the worst team shooting-wise from a statistical standpoint in the SEC this season, as they're hitting just a tad over 40% of their shots. I look at this particular game and I know that Arkansas is not a great road team. And I realize Arkansas has lost 6 straight games in Columbia. But I look at this Razorbacks team and I go, really, thanks to LSU's loss last night, really a solid number 2 in the SEC. I look at what happened in the first go-round in this particular series, where they forced 20 turnovers against South Carolina in that first matchup, and they outscored South Carolina on turnovers 21-1. Now, South Carolina is coming off an 81-68 home win against Mississippi State, but they had lost their prior home game to Texas A&M by 10 points as a 3-point favorite. In fact, they had lost 11 of their previous 15 games before beating Mississippi State. So I'm going to go ahead with Arkansas in this spot. The other complimentary play, listen, guys, I've made a lot of money laying big points with Arizona at home this season. Why not continue to do so? I like Arizona minus the 19 points at home against California. They are well removed from last weekend's huge win, 63-57 at Utah. Basically, they win tonight. Well, this isn't basically. They win tonight. They clinch the Pac-12 title outright. I mean, they're already in the driver's seat with only 2 games remaining. And what was really impressive with the way they won at Utah is that Stanley Johnson, the freshman who really has been the catalyst for the team's success this season, had a miserable game. 3 for 19 from the field and just 12 points. Matter of fact, he was benched down the stretch of that game. Now, in the first go-round, when Arizona went to Berkeley, and remember, that was a big revenge game for them, okay? Having lost their undefeated season, their unbeaten record a year ago when the Golden Bears beat them, they rolled in that game 73-50. Now, they won that game by 23 points on the road. Tonight, they're 19-point favorites at home. And, of course, they have just been a phenomenal home team. What have they won at the McHale Center in Tucson? Like 37 straight games, something along that, 36 straight games. And ironically, who's the last team that beat them at home? California. Yes, February 10th, 2013. They're 15-0 at home this season. I just think that this is a team that will continue to give matchup problems for California. Because if you go back to that road win when they won by 23 points, I think the most important factors when I analyzed the box score of that particular game is that Arizona was 23 for 26 from the free throw line. California, 1 for 4. Now think about that. You know as well as I do. Most times the home teams are going to get the benefit of the whistle. Not California. 4 free throw attempts in the game. 26 for Arizona, and the game was in Berkeley. Is it because Arizona has overwhelming size? A little bit. But it's because Arizona more has an inside presence. It has strong play in the paint. You got a California team that's basically a three-guard lineup with very little size. You have a California team that really relies on the long-distance shooting, and they've got three streaky long-distance shooting teams. So an Arizona team that owned the boards just 31-25, but again, it was their inside play that made the difference. Nothing has changed here all these weeks later other than the venue. And you know by playing in Tucson tonight, they're going to get the benefit of more calls, and they're going to get more opportunities to go for the free points at the free throw line. And when you're laying these big numbers, you've got to be a damn good team from the free throw line. The other thing that I noticed from the box score is that their bench outscored California's 24-0 in the first go round. So even though the Bears, who I used as a free pick on Saturday or Sunday, in fact, when they snapped a 3-game losing streak with a home double-digit win, 73-56 over Oregon State, to snap that skid doesn't matter to me. Love Arizona tonight. And again, I'm going to go ahead and lay the 19 points with them. And to be honest with you, I would rather lay 19 points with Arizona than even take Arkansas on the road. So in terms of ranking the two free plays, I think Arizona is by far the stronger of the two selections. That'll do it, guys, for today's video report. Best of luck to you all, and I'll catch you again tomorrow when we do this one more time.